So get this. What if I told you there's a company out there with zero, and I mean zero revenue, but its stock is up over 1,000% in the last year? It's a company that sits right at the intersection of two of the biggest stories on the planet right now, the AI revolution and the great nuclear power comeback. Today, we are breaking down Oklo. All right, let's just dive right into the paradox, because it's a wild one. On the one hand, a company that has not made a single dime in revenue. On the other hand, a stock chart that just looks like an absolute rocket ship, up 1,400%. This disconnect, this is the whole story.
So the big question is, how is that even possible? What on earth is driving this insane valuation for a company that isn't selling anything yet? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We're going to look at the incredible vision and the immense risks behind this massive, high-stakes bet on Oklo.
To get a handle on that sky-high valuation, you first have to understand that Oklo isn't your grandfather's nuclear power company. They are completely rewriting the playbook. And it's not just about some shiny new tech. No, it's way deeper. It's a whole new business model. Okay, and this is the absolute key. Oklo isn't in the business of selling reactors. They're in the business of selling power. The plan is to build their own powerhouses, own them, operate them, and then just sell the electricity to customers on a simple contract. So think of it less like buying a whole power plant and more like a subscription service. You know, Netflix for clean 24/7 energy. The engine behind this whole service is what they call the Aurora powerhouse. And get this, its core technology isn't some brand new, risky science experiment. It's actually an evolution of a reactor design that ran successfully for 30 years. And this thing is a beast. It's incredibly efficient, and here's the real kicker, it can literally run on recycled nuclear waste. So it creates its own fuel while solving one of the industry's biggest headaches. Two birds, one stone. All right, so we get the what. Now let's dig into the why. Why are investors so incredibly excited about this? Well, the bull case is pretty compelling, and it really boils down to this perfect storm, a powerful trifecta of opportunity. Yeah, I mean, you've got this insane surging demand from AI, you've got technology that's basically been proven and de-risked, and then you have the government rolling out the red carpet. So let's break that down, starting with the absolute biggest piece of the puzzle, AI's crazy, insatiable appetite for energy. 12 gigawatts. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the amount of power Oklo has a non-binding agreement to supply for data centers. To give you an idea of how much power that is, 1 gigawatt can light up around 750,000 homes. So we are talking about enough juice to power a major city for just one potential customer. This is the insane scale we're dealing with, and Oklo's small on-site reactors are tailor-made for it. And it's not just the market screaming for power. You've also got a massive tailwind from the government. We're seeing new executive orders that are literally designed to fast-track advanced nuclear projects just like Oklo's. Seriously, the political climate for this industry hasn't been this good in decades. Okay, so that all sounds amazing, right? A slam dunk. But not so fast. For all that incredible promise, there is a very, very different side to this coin. Oklo's facing a seriously treacherous road ahead, and the obstacles, well, they're enormous. You can really boil the bear case down to two massive risks. First up, you've got the can they even do it risk. I mean, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission already shot down their first application back in 2022. And let's be honest, they've never actually built a commercial reactor before. Then there's the money side. The stock is priced for absolute perfection, and they're in a race against some really heavy hitters with seriously deep pockets. But, beyond those core risks, there's another red flag, a pretty big one that analysts are pointing to. And this one's coming from the inside, from the very people who should know the company's prospects better than anyone, its own top executives. And the data here is, well, it's pretty stark. Just look at this. Over the past year, insiders have bought stock exactly twice, and they've sold it 40 times. That all adds up to a net sale of almost 18 million shares. The people on the inside, they're cashing out. And look, this doesn't feel like routine profit-taking. I mean, the chief legal and strategy officer sold his entire position, all of it, gone. Now, sure, people sell shares for a lot of reasons, but when you see this much selling at this scale, it's a powerful signal that maybe, just maybe, they think the stock price has gotten a little ahead of itself. So, what do we do with all this? You've got this incredible, world-changing vision on one side and these massive, very real risks on the other. Let's try to put it all in perspective and see where we land.
When you put Oklo side by side with its competition, you really start to see their game plan. You've got NewScale, which is way ahead on the regulatory front. They've already got their design certified, which is huge. Then you've got TerraPower, backed by, Bill Gates. But Oklo? They're laser-focused on one thing, powering AI data centers. That's their niche, and they're betting that single-minded focus is what's going to give them the winning edge.
And this is a really critical point. Remember those government tailwinds? They've literally created a second path to victory for Oklo. So now they're not just slogging through the traditional slow NRC process, they're also on an accelerated track with the Department of Energy. And the goal for that program is to have a reactor achieve criticality, which basically means turn on, by the middle of 2026. If they pull that off, it would be a massive leap forward, years ahead of schedule.
So at the end of the day, you just can't look at Oklo like a normal stock. The usual numbers, the usual metrics, they just don't apply here. This is a pure, speculative, high-risk bet on a perfect storm of massive trends all crashing together. The AI power boom, the global push for clean energy, and a radical shift in government policy.
And that brings us right back to where we started, to that big paradox. Is Oklo a visionary company that's about to power the future, or is it a massive bubble just inflated by hype and hope? You can make a really strong case for both. It's the classic deep tech investing story, right? The potential reward is absolutely astronomical, but the risk is just as big. The only thing we know for sure is that the answer will be decided as they try to navigate that very perilous path ahead.